we will be studying list and tuples. So let's begin with the list. Here is the definition of the list. What is list? List is a container which consists of a set of data types. So list can consist of a string. There is an example over here. It consists of a string. It can consist of a boolean. It can consist of integer or a float. Integer, boolean. Let's start with it. List can consist of a string. Consist of a string. Integer, float, boolean, none. Let us execute it. Yes, it has got executed. So list consists of any data type. Whichever data type you input inside it, it will retain it or it will store it. After this, what it says is, there are certain properties of list. It is ordered, it is mutable, it is indexed. In order to understand the order, first one, let me print it. What is ordered? So whichever order that we assign to it, the same order the output should come. It shouldn't rearrange the internal elements inside it. It means that if I type Vishnu at the start, it shouldn't come at the end when I put the output as such. Okay, so it should be in a proper ordered sequence. Secondly, it is mutable. If you have seen the Krish movie, right? There were the mutants inside it. Mutants means what? It consists of different genes. Okay. Here, what is the genes? Whatever the input that we assign inside a list, right? So the input consists of number of elements. If we change any of the element inside it, so it will be what? A mutant, right? Same way as in the Krish. Okay. There were a mutant which had a characteristic of butterfly, which had a characteristic of chameleon, right? The same way we will try to alter its genes in the list, right? Genes means what? We will be altering an element. Suppose if I don't want Vishnu, apart from Vishnu, if I want some other name, so let's try to alter it. Let's try to mutate it. I will copy this. Let's see. Which element? Yes, this I want to alter. I don't want this. Instead of this, it is at the first index. Instead of this, I want Tuple over here. I will alter it. After altering, let us print it. Yes, we can alter it or it is mutable. Next is it can be indexed. Index means accessing the elements based on its index. We pull the first index. First index is 0 always. Second is considered as 1. Third as 2. 4th and 5th index. If I want to access the 4th index, print, access the 4th index. If I access the 4th index, it's 4. 4th means 0, 1, 2, 3. Yes, it has given me a none. Next is list indexing. We have already done this. We have accessed the 4th index, right? This is left the error and list slicing. So when does the error come? If suppose I want to access the element 40, the index 40, does it exist over here? No. The maximum limit is 4th index. If I try to execute it, see, it is giving me an error, index error. After this, list slicing. Let's go towards slicing. If you don't know slicing, go to the chapter number 6. In chapter 6, the slicing is explained in a very good fashion. If you studied it well and fine, you will understand it in a better way. If I want 2, 5.7 and true. If I want to access this 3, if I want to slice this 3, so what I have to put? Index 1, index 2, index 3. Okay. So index 1, it starts from index 1. I want the element in index 3. Over here I can take. index 1, index 2 and index 3. If I want index 3, then I have to write fourth one, right? And yes, we have got index 1, 2 and 3. We are done. Next. The next is list methods. There are a number of methods which are available over here. Which have been stated. You can see. Let's just start with the first one. In order to sort it, I will take another list. List 1 I will put over here. Name it this. Let me put a numerical values inside it. Enter. Let's start with the sort operation. Let me assign list new. I will write down and I will sort it. SORT sort. We have to assign the name to it. Sort means what it will do. The sort operation will arrange the number in the ascending order. Then just run it. Yes, it has run. Let me print it. If I print it, it is giving me none. Why it is giving me none? Here you should understand, very important thing is whenever you perform a particular method, it will either return you a value or it will alter the value inside that particular variable. Right? What we have done in a data type, we have assigned a separate variable. Whenever we try to alter from one particular data type to another particular data type, we have assigned a separate variable. Over there, what happened is, it returned me a value, and that returned value I have stored it in a separate variable name. But over here, if you assign a separate variable name, it doesn't return. Okay, this operation, the list sort operation or any method inside a list, it doesn't return me anything. Whatever operation that are executed inside this, it is performed directly inside the list itself. Let me run this. You run this, and now you print. Now let me print this list 1. Yes, it has ordered each and every element in a ascending sequence over here. Right? So what we can say is, whenever we perform any particular operation in a list, that operation is performed and the values are stored in the base variable which we have assigned it previously. You did not assign a separate variable. Even if you assign a separate variable, it doesn't return me anything. It doesn't return me a value. Okay. If it doesn't return me a value, what you will be getting is a none. Nothing you are getting at the end, right? Hence, it returned me a none over here when I assigned a new variable, right? Next method is reverse. Let me reverse this. Run this. Print it. See, it has reversed the full sequence. After this, append. What is append operation? Append operation will add a number at the end of the list. I want to append the number 45. So the number 45 will be printed at the end. Append means it will add a number at the end, a new number. You can add many characters as you want. The next is insert operation. In the insert operation, whichever index you want to change the number. Suppose I want to change the number at the index 1. I want to change the number at index 1. Instead of 9, I want it as 55. Run it. Yes, it has changed. In insert operation, we access a particular index and we change the number at that particular index itself. After this, the next is remove operation. In remove operation, if I don't want a particular number, in this there is a repeating number, say 1, 1, continuous, there is 1, 1. I don't want this number 1. Just put that number. I don't want this. It's list 1. Enter. Let me print it. Okay. If you see over here, only one character of 1 is removed. The second character is still there. If you want to remove it, again you type it. So it removes that character 1 at a time. The next is pop operation. In pop, at any particular index, if you want to remove that number, you can remove using a pop operation. List pop. I want at the third index. I don't want the element at the third index. Just run it. There is an error over here. You fix it. Yes. So this is removed from it. Print it again. Yes, it has removed the element 8. After this, we will go towards the next topic, that is tuples in Python. A very important thing over here. Tuples are immutable. Immutable means you can't alter a single element from tuples. Right? So tuples are immutable. Before moving towards this, let us try how to assign a tuple. As we have seen, in a list, we use a square bracket to assign a list. Okay. But over here in tuples, we use a curly bracket or a parenthesis over here. Let's begin with tuples. In order to assign tuples, we use the parenthesis. Execute it. Print. Yes, it has got executed. A very important thing over here, in tuples, you can also give an empty tuple. If you run it, print it. Yes, it has given me an empty tuple over here. How to identify a tuple? From the curly brackets or from the parenthesis. Even the first example, see, in the print option, it had a curly brackets over here. Even if I assign an empty tuple, it gives me a curly bracket. Next, suppose I want to assign only a single element to a tuple. Let me run it and print it. It has given me a 1. Is it stored as a tuple? No, it is not been stored as a tuple. Why? Because there are no curly brackets. If I want to assign this as a tuple, then what you need to do is, remember this. There is only single element, and if you want to convert it into a tuple, put a comma after that particular element, and it will give me a tuple. Run it. Yes, it has given me a tuple. Remember this, it is very important if you have a single element in the tuple. A tuple is immutable. Let's just try to mutate the tuple. I have already told it is immutable. Let's try to mutate it. I want to mutate this first index value, that is 3. I want it as 5. Let's run it. Is giving me an error. Tuple object doesn't support item assignment, means you can't change the items from the tuples. If you want to access based on index, you can always access it. Print. A. I want the second element printed. This second element is 6 over here. Yes, it has got printed. So the properties of tuples are, it is immutable, it can be indexed. After this, let us try slicing of it. I want from first, second, third, fourth. Print. I want the element from first to fourth. First to fourth. First to fourth means I will write fifth over there, right? Printed. Yes. It can be sliced. So the properties of tuples are, it is immutable, it can be sliced, it can be indexed. Okay. Next, the methods over here. If you want to count a particular number, that's how many times it has got repeated. So it will tell me the count of it. Next is index. If you want to check the index of a particular value, okay, if suppose 5, the number 5 is at which particular index, so it will return me an index. First is count. For counting, what I will do over here is, let me repeat certain numbers over here. 8. I will repeat 8 over here. I will print it. A dot count. Let me count 8. See, it has came thrice, right? So it should give me a 3 over here output. So it has came thrice or repeated thrice. So it will give me a 3 over here. The next is index. I want to check the index of 6th digit. A dot index of the number 6. What is the index? 3. Let me count it. 0, 1, 2, 3. Yes. So here we are done with tuples. Next we will go towards the exercise. To check the exercise over here. In the exercise, write a program to store 7 fruits in a list entered by the user. Means we need to create a list over here. In that list we have to store 7 fruits. Problem 1. Seven fruits we need. So let me type A equals input. That too we want it in a list. Kindly enter the name of the fruit. 1. Total 7 fruits. Okay. Let's create a list. Let me type fruit equal to the list square bracket A comma B comma C comma G 7. Enter. Print. Run it. Let me type apple. And then strawberry. Kiwi. Yes, it has printed me a list. In the next problem, we have to write a program to accept the marks of 6 students and display them in a sorted manner. So if you want to sort it, then we have to use the list option to sort it. Move ahead with it. Here I will copy this as it is for the second problem. Problem number 2. Paste this. In order to sort the number should be identified as an integer and not as a string. Here in input whatever we enter inside it is identified as a string. I need to convert it into an integer. So what I will do, I will put an int over here and I will close this. Right? So I need to convert everything into an int over here. Copy it. There are only 6 marks of the students that need to be entered. Let me delete this. Kindly enter the marks of the student number 1. Even if you don't change it from fruits to marks, it's okay. But I will change it. Okay. Next, you need to sort it. Marks dot sort. Run it. Okay. Yes, run it. I'm entering just some random numbers. So these are sorted in a ascending order. The next question is, check that the tuple cannot be changed in Python. Write a tuple over here. Not problem. Run it. Let me try to change the number 6. The 6 is at first index. I want to change it to 8. Enter. Tuple object doesn't support item assignment. Right? So that's all. Write a program to sum the list with 4 numbers. List. Whatever is there inside a list, you need to just sum it. 4 numbers they have said. We will do the same thing for the 4th problem. Said list, convert it into a list. List. 4 numbers you need to add it. How you can add it? Right. Sum of equals 0. This is one way you can do it. 1. Just keep on adding. The last one. Finally print it. Print sum of, run it. Sum of this is 116. There is one more method in which we can do it. Just put a sum. Copy this over here in this sum. Run it. Yes. So this is another way which you can perform it. The next one is write a program to count the number of zeros in the following tuple. Copy this. I want to count it. The fifth problem, right? Fifth problem. Use the count option. A dot count. What I need to count? Number of zeros. How many zeros are there? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, it has given me a count of 4. Thank you all. Let's meet up in the next video. Till then, keep on practicing.